Hello, everyone, and welcome to the seminar on data wrangling. I'm Corey Whitney, and you can contact me if necessary, or if you have any questions or interests at the University of Bonn. First, a little bit of overview on this exciting topic of data wrangling. We're going to be using the tidyr, the tidyverse, and dplyr packages in the R programming language. A few notes about R. We're going to talk about tidy code style when using R, so how to keep everything neat. Some clean and hopefully intuitive functions using the dplyr package, and hopefully find a way to get the code to be quite concise, easy to read, but concise using the Magrider packages options. So about R, just a note on the process here from Andrew McDonald. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you should. He's a really great tweeter about R stuff. But his writing, he wrote a blog about this recently, and he said what I think really resonates with me, really interesting idea that writing R code is hedonistically artistic, left-brained, paint in your hair sort of experience. We learned to code the same way we learned how to catch salamanders as children, trial and error, flipping over rocks till we get a reward. Once the ecstasy of creation has swept over us, we wake late the next morning to find our canvas covered with 2,100 lines of R code. Our heads throbbing with statistical absinthe hangover, we trudge through it slowly over days, trying to figure out what we did. Now, I hope that through looking through this lecture, listening to this, and actually using the Learn R tutorial, instead of feeling that you've got a hangover and you don't understand what happened, instead you'll have some kind of a clear guidance for your future self, for that hangover self, to figure out what it is that you did and how it all worked. What ends up happening is that we're programming, we're really concentrated, we're writing lots and lots of code. We finally think we figure something out, and then we get slightly distracted. We look back a few minutes, a few hours, a few days later, a few weeks or months or years later, we have no idea what was written there. So there are ways to get rid of this problem, to help ourselves, help our future selves to be able to understand what it is that we did. We can keep our data tidy. So we can use hashtags to annotate notes in our code so that those don't run, but we can read them later. We can use R Markdown, which is something you'll learn later on. But if we don't use R Markdown, that is a writing, basically integration of all kinds of different languages like LaTeX and Pandoc. But if we're not using R Markdown, that's okay. We can also use these lines or these hashtags at the end of our titles, so that we end up with a table of contents in an R file. So section 1, section 2, section 3. Let me just show you how that might work. So if I create an R script, then I can write section 1, section 2. 4 hashtags makes a title. So every time you do that, you can write your R code here, whatever code you want. You could even write hundreds of lines of code, and you'll have that table of contents in the upper right-hand corner of the console. So you'll always be able to access that when you go to RStudio. It's right up here in the upper right-hand corner of this part of the interface. So you can always access that no matter how much code you have.